Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people are just magnetic? You know the type. They walk into a room, and without even trying, they draw people in. What is the actual purpose of that spark? Is there a specific formula, or is it just something you're born with? When I first started looking into this, I did what most of us do. I dove into the classics. I read the books, watched the viral YouTube videos, and listened to endless podcasts. And honestly, a lot of the advice out there is, well, pretty shallow. You've heard them before. Always give a compliment. Never criticize, or make sure you smile with your eyes. Now, don't get me wrong. Compliments are great, but only if you actually mean them. If you're just using a compliment as a tool to get someone to like you, people can sense that. The same goes for smiling. A smile is beautiful when it comes from a place of genuine joy, not when it's a mechanical trick to achieve a goal. I've always been a bit wary of the how-to content that promises instant attraction because it feels like you're trying too hard. It doesn't get to the root of the issue. If we just follow a script without knowing why we're doing it, it's meaningless. The most attractive people I know don't follow these formulas. They aren't performing. Their charm is natural, balanced, and makes everyone around them feel at ease. Attraction is highly subjective because it's a reflection of our own experiences and depth. There's a metaphor I love. A magnet can only attract iron, not wood or silver. Humans are the same. We are drawn to people who share our frequency and our values. There's a quote that changed my perspective. People can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. Think about that. When we are young and haven't experienced much, we're often attracted to shiny external things because we haven't developed the internal depth to recognize depth in others. But as we grow, observe, and learn from our own lives, the type of person we find attractive starts to shift. I remember being 18 or 19 and imagining these grand, cinematic gestures I wanted from a boyfriend. But by the time I was 21 and coming out of a long relationship, I met people who went way out of their way to impress me, sending food to my office or waiting until 11 p.m. to drive me home. It was nice, sure, but it wasn't attractive. There was no real connection because at the time, I didn't even know what I wanted. True attraction only comes from a genuine connection and resonance between two souls. In English, we often use the words charm and charisma interchangeably, but there is a massive difference between them. Charm can almost be thought of as a spell or an incantation. It's proactive and often intentional. It's the perfume, the perfect smile, the sweet words, or the expensive gifts used to make an impression. There is a level of calculation there. There's nothing inherently wrong with charm, but it's usually short-term. It pulls people toward you, but it doesn't necessarily keep them there. If you take me to a fancy restaurant, but spend the whole time talking about yourself without trying to understand me, you aren't liking me. You're liking a fantasy version of me you've built in your head. We've all been there, liking someone because they're cool or talented, without actually understanding who they are. Without understanding, there is no deep connection. Charisma, on the other hand, comes from a Greek root meaning a favor freely given or a gift of grace. This is the game changer. With charisma, a smile or a meal isn't a tool to get something. It's just a smile. It's given freely with no expectation of anything in return. True attraction isn't a wave you can catch and hold. It's like a deep underground stream, steady, silent, and powerful. It's the way we are drawn to a beautiful flower or the warmth of a fire on a cold night. It just is. So what does this look like in real life? The most naturally attractive person I know is my mother. She doesn't just attract partners. She attracts everyone. Friends, neighbors, the bank teller, even the lady selling dried shrimp at the market. Within 30 minutes of meeting her, people are pouring their hearts out to her. Why? Because she is sincerely and kindly honest. She assumes the best of people. Even if someone is disrespectful, she doesn't get bothered. Her attitude is, "You have your opinion, but your opinion doesn't change my truth, and it certainly won't change how I choose to treat you." That kind of internal confidence, kindness, and sincerity is incredibly magnetic. Attraction isn't just about your physical appearance. It's a beauty with a soul. It's a combination of self-care. They dress with taste, not necessarily flashy, but neat and clean, which shows a fundamental respect for themselves. Energy and pace. They have positive energy and speak calmly. Intuition and confidence. This confidence doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from understanding themselves and having a wealth of life experiences that give them interesting stories to tell. Open-mindedness. They can join a conversation easily, they listen well, and they approach everything with an open heart. They have their own views, but they aren't stubborn. Humility. They are capable and talented, but have no need to show off or prove themselves to anyone. One of the most underrated traits of an attractive person is their ability to be 100% present. When you are with them, you feel like you are the only person in the world because they give you their full focus. This ability to focus comes from living in the now. When you live in the present, you aren't controlled by anxieties about the future or rigid plans. Life is messy and unpredictable. We try to plan everything to feel like we're in control, but if we cling too tightly to our agenda, we become rigid. It shows we only care about our own goals, not the people around us. Think about this. You plan a perfect day out with a friend, with a list of places to go and things to talk about. But when you meet, your friend is having a terrible day. Maybe they lost their job or had a fight with their family. If you force them to follow your schedule, you're failing them. Attraction requires the flexibility to set aside your personal desires and prioritize the person in front of you. This ability to listen and focus doesn't just fall from the sky. It takes practice. And that practice starts with you. Sitting with yourself, listening to your own inner prompts, and understanding who you are. Many people want to be attractive because they want to be famous, influential, or validated. They think being liked by others will fill the void of insecurity or the inferiority complexes they carry inside. This is why we see so much flexing or showy behavior on social media. When people are disconnected from themselves, they don't know who they are. So they build a shell to hide their fragile egos. They look for external validation because they've never given it to themselves. We spend years in school learning about the world, but no one teaches us how to find our own path. No one teaches us what is actually important to me. What makes me happy? Who do I want to give my time to? What do I need to sacrifice right now to get where I want to be? That is the true meaning of focus. You can't focus on everything and everyone. That's just distraction. Once you understand yourself, you can make choices that fit you. And once you choose a path or a person, you have to be there 100%. Here is the secret. The purpose of attraction was never about other people. It's not about looking cool so people want to get close to you. It's about finding yourself. It's about finding the path that makes you feel happy and free. When you trust your own path, that energy radiates outward. People sense that confidence, and that is what creates the pull. I never dreamed of being famous or an influencer. I just wanted to share my thoughts. People often ask me how I speak so clearly on camera. But the truth is, it's not that smooth. I have to write everything down, and a 15-minute video can take 5 or 6 hours to film. Attraction is a process of learning and practice that most people don't see. It's not just about your achievements. It's about surviving and growing after every setback. It takes courage to throw yourself out into the world, to question yourself, and to get back up after you fall. Maybe you've said the wrong thing before. Maybe you've been awkward or cringy in front of others. Maybe you still get nervous before a meeting. That's okay. It's that open, adventurous attitude, the willingness to keep going, that helps you become a better version of yourself. No one is perfect, and nobody becomes magnetic just by watching a 10-minute video online. But you can start by being honest with yourself. When you listen to yourself, listening to others becomes easy. When you are comfortable with who you are, other people feel comfortable being themselves around you. And when you are steadfast in the path you've chosen, you start to emit a light that makes you naturally attractive. There is no secret formula for attraction other than sincerity. I can't be attractive the way my mom is because I'm not her. I can only be attractive in my own way, and you can only be attractive in yours. I hope you have the courage to open your heart, to experience more, and to stay firm on the path you've chosen. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon.